Hello. Today we're going to take a look at how we build one of these cabinets with custom bay sizes for each area here, along with the assembly cuts that come in, as well as the sub-level and bill of materials and all that for all the piece parts that are generated during the automation. So let's go ahead and bring up the configure app here and connect to the system, and we can load different configurations. But we're going to go with this three-piece or four-piece combo here. So let's go ahead and just open up the model. Okay, and that opens up our template here, and we can take a look at the different operations here based on the different inputs that we choose. So as we choose different base sizes, different options turn on and off related to each size. But what we really want to do is kind of recreate what we had here and say, let's load this third one. And we slightly want to change some specs here. So maybe what we want to do is make the first bay and the third bay a little different on the first one. The other two are fine, and then we can go ahead and regenerate the automation. And we're going to go through and build this and propagate the models in the end. And you'll notice that some models are going to be reused, as well as some models are going to be created during this operation. First portion here modifies the frame width and the overall frame size to give us our general shape. And then we come in here and we add 4 doors, all of the same assembly, and then we come in here and then we customize each door size based on the curve length measurements that we've done based off the skeletal curves of the flexible assembly. And then we come here, finalize that, and then we come in here on the top panel. There's 3 sets of cuts that come in that are using the sketches that are on the divider panel. Okay, you see them coming on the top. Now they're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Oh, actually now what we're doing here is we are storing that configuration into the varied items of the top panel. Then we come in with the bottom cutouts there, and then we store the varied items to the bottom panel as well. That's important for the lookup, okay, when you're doing the replacement and propagate auto replace commands. And then here we now go through and we analyze the assembly to determine all of the varied items that are in the database. And then we compare the varied items in the lookup tables, and then we do the auto replace commands to replace all the models to the new part numbers that it found or created in Windchill, okay? Or in the file system, it doesn't matter as long as it's Creo files. The next move then, once this is done, is we go ahead and we create the DX SAPs, which are the flat patterns for manufacturing. Okay, so let's just wait till that starts. as you see the model being replaced by the assembly components there. Now, during the process of reading and writing the varied items, the model resets back to its original shape. That's what you see it going back and forth there. Now, that's part of the normal behavior of a flexible component. So the next move here, it's almost finished, is now we're going to go into the sub-level items. Which are these door panels. Now, not a lot is shown because the model she's fairly compressed, but you can just pay attention onto the graphic screen there. And the next move here is to come in here and pop off the DXFs. And then once the DXFs are completed here, all the manufacturing deliverables are made, and each panel is automatically produced. All the documentation for the manufacturing is automatically produced in the background. Thank you.